What up, MCTV crew? I'm back again. No, this is not part two of the focus group podcast reaction about the liberals' views on Israel. I will be dropping that at some point, but I want to get back into the process of making videos on a regular basis. That's a kind of more involved video than just me just sitting here in front of the camera. So that's what I'm doing today. Um, so I'm gonna try to start releasing a video every Monday. That is basically just gonna be like a weekend review type of thing. Biggest story from the past week. At least for now until like I'm making videos on such a regular basis that I will have covered. You know what I'm saying? The biggest story from past week at some point, but right now I'm not to that point. I do have a full-time job. That's not this. Obviously, you can look at the number of views I get on my videos. This I can't make this a job, at least not right now. But hopefully one day we'll see. So the biggest story, obviously from this past week, had to be the Michigan primary between Al Sayed and Haley Stevens. Um, so it coming out of it, it was very close. If you don't know, it was only like a point difference. And coming out of it, people were kind of like saying a lot, especially a lot of people who were more towards Haley Stevens, were saying like, "Oh, it's only at 1 point." You know, what I'm saying, was that a big deal? What does that mean? Was that a good thing? Like, what does it mean that he only won? I'll say only won by 1 point. Is that showing a weakness or what? So, the way I would look at it is, what if Haley Stevens? Let's say the point it was just a 2 point difference, and Haley Stevens had won by 1 point. What would be the talking point then? Oh, I guess hold up. Let me back this up real quick. Let me not talk to people like everybody is a political junkie, because I know everybody's not, and I want these videos to be for the people who are not necessarily political junkies. So, Michigan primary was pretty much between, like I said, Al Sayed, who is, I mean, he's a Muslim man. He is a progressive, or like he's, I don't know, even more left than a progressive, like what you would typically call a progressive. But he's not a socialist. He is not a socialist. He's not part of the DSA, but he's very much aligned with the growing left of the Democratic Party. And then you had Haley Stevens, who is a more traditional moderate candidate. She has a really funny accent that everybody was picking at. And the biggest thing about her, she says some like a crazy thing about seeing Israel and Israel coming into her dreams. That is, to me, is crazy. I'm sorry. That's like, well, and I heard that, I was like, well, that's weird. Regardless of how you feel about Israel, like if I said Nigeria comes to me in my dreams, even though I have no ties with Nigeria, but I'm just saying, like it would be weird. But anyway, she was the more moderate candidate. This was probably the biggest primary or election thing going on after Maine. Once Graham Plattner dropped out of Maine, and they got like a kind of, I don't want to say normal, but more mild candidate. People don't even really talk about Maine anymore, which I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not. Because on the one hand, less attention means that you're not going to gin up the like Republicans to get up, because they feel less like, oh, this is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So they might kind of, it might not be that important to them as much as it would if like the whole nation was looking at it. It was, all the national news was talking about it, blah 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 blah. But at the same time, it might also work against the Democratic base. They might feel less enthusiastic, less like, oh yeah, let's go get it, and some of them might stay home. Not because they don't like, I'm blanking on the new candidate name. Not because they don't like him, but just because he just doesn't excite them in a way that makes them want to, like, oh, I gotta go vote today. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. It's like if you talking to a girl, and one girl's like really beautiful and she has your attention and she's cool and blah 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 blah. Then you got another girl who is also cool, you know what I'm saying, just not as exciting as the other girl. You like both of them, but you go make sure you hit that other girl up in the morning. The first girl up, you go make sure you hit her up in the morning and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Where the other girl, you might forget, not because it's not important, but it's just like it's just not as pressing to you because of all the other things. Anyway, so uh, Minnesota. No, not Minnesota, Michigan. I'm sorry. I was like, what was I talking about? Michigan. So anyway, so yeah, so Haley Stevens, the more moderate candidate. Al Sayed, the more liberal candidate. They had a election. Al Sayed won by 1 point. So now I'm back to where I started at. So yeah, so if Haley Stevens had won, what would be the conversation? Would it still be the same? Like, ooh, Haley Stevens only won by 1 point. Is she really the best person for this? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would be. And unlike a lot of people online who think that everybody who is saying that Al Sayed might have trouble running in the general election, I like they think they all are like conspiracy. They all just corporate, you know, yeah. They like all getting paid to say stuff. There, it's like an agenda behind it. I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's probably polling that says that, but I also think it's just like in your head. Like even as somebody who would support Al Sayed over a Haley Stevens, even I in my head would be like he probably would have a hard time winning the general election. That doesn't mean it's true just because I think that, like, in the base of my mind that's what I think. That doesn't mean it's true. It's just that that's what we've been conditioned to learn, to know. I mean, just like with when Biden ran, one of the reasons that everybody voted for Biden, one of the reasons I voted for Biden was because he seemed like he was the most electable, and it was just like we just need somebody to get rid of Trump at this time. I think that's dangerous to vote like that. I don't like voting like that in most situations, but in that election, another reason is like, really, was anybody else going to win? Like, and like really, and it just needed somebody to get rid of Trump at that point. That's not the situation we're in now, but at that point, you need somebody to get rid of Trump. So anyway, was it a big deal that I said won if it's only by 1 point? And I would say yes, because you have to look at from the point of view of, if you ask anybody, even the Al Sayed supporters, who was the more radical person in that election, and even if you don't even know, even if you did not follow the Michigan primary like a lot of serially online people, just from my description, you could probably tell who's the more radical person in that election between, you know, far left person and moderate. Even the name moderate, which I don't like the term moderate when it comes to politics, but anyway, I prefer liberal or leftist or anything like that versus conservative. Like, so I don't believe in moderate Democrat. I believe in conservative Democrat, and you have liberal Democrats. I don't believe in moderate because it's like, what is moderation? So, like, you know what I mean? It's, I don't want to get into a whole tangent of that right now, but I don't believe in the term moderate when it comes to. I believe in liberal and conservative, and I'll be on both sides. I believe if you're a Republican, I believe in liberal Republicans and conservative Republicans. I don't believe in moderate Republicans. So anyway, Al Sayed was obviously the most radical person in the election, and usually the most radical person in the election has a hard time of winning. When people feel like somebody is radical, it makes them nervous. It makes them worried. It makes them scared. And so him being the radical in the election, and also going against Haley Stevens, who, even though she was not endorsed by Obama, she basically pretended that she was endorsed by Obama, and she made it seem like she was endorsed by Obama because she put out a bunch of ads and stuff and a bunch of mailers, like sending people stuff through the mail that said, "Oh, Obama supports me," and she showed a bunch of old like clips of Obama saying, "Oh yeah, Haley's in blah 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 blah," and so it made it seem like Obama had endorsed her in the election when Obama hadn't endorsed anybody in the election. So and she had buku of money coming from APAC, which in a way it's like you can't blame APAC for putting money into who they support. Like if any corporation or group, like there's a group of like I don't know, a black group, and they wanted to put money behind a black candidate because they believe that black candidate or whatever candidate because they believe that candidate would be better for black rights or whatever. You can't get mad at them for that. Like you can't get mad at APAC for doing what is in their best interest. What you can be upset with is our setup, is our political setup that allows them to put 60, I think it was 60 or 70 million dollars in a freaking primary, not even a general election, in a primary behind one candidate. I don't know how many people live in Michigan. Probably like a couple million or whatever. I think I'm trying to remember the numbers. I think it was like 400 something thousand each person got, or it might have been more than that. It might have been more than that. But anyway, maybe around a million people voted in the primary. You could have gave all those people $70 and just like here's $70 for your vote, and these numbers might be way off, so if they off, so but I'm just saying you could have gave everybody like $70 and been like, go vote for Haley Stevens. You know what I'm saying? That just shows you how much money was thrown into this primary. So Al-Sayed had to go through all of that, and he still won. Even if it's about a point, if he still won, to me, that's a big deal. He should not have won this election, and that's what you got to look at. You can't look at it from the point of view of like, well, he only won by 1 point in the polls before the election, that he had moved up to that. The poll said that he was gonna win by more. You can't do that. That's not fair to him. That's not realistic of what actually was going on. Like the actual thing is he had a mountain to climb, and he still won. So I think it is a big deal. I think that it shows something. I think that people in the Democratic Party, especially us millennials, because millennials are the most liberal cohort. Can't even say that word. I think the poll came out recently that millennials are the most liberal. I'm not surprised. I attribute that to us coming of age during Obama and hope and change and blah blah blah. But yeah. So anyway, I get off on these tangents and then I forget what my original point was. So coming from that, let's talk about the general election. He's going to be running against Mike Rogers. I don't know a lot about Mike Rogers. I live in South Carolina. I do follow national politics a lot, but not enough to know about the Senate candidate in Michigan backstory. I don't know about him. I don't really follow Republicans until like it becomes a general election. I have seen some of Mike Rogers' ads, and they're basically going to be, hey, this guy's a Muslim, this guy's crazy, he's radical, which, like, I wonder how much he pays his consultants and stuff, because I can do the job for half that money if that's all you're doing. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but like anybody on the street would have said, oh, how would you run against Al-Sayed? Oh, well, first of all, be kind of racist, play up that he's different, play up that he's radical, play up that you know what I'm saying, play up all that stuff, maybe throw some communists in there, yada, 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 call him a socialist even though he says he's not a socialist. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody could do that. It's basic stuff. It might work though. It might work because not a lot of people pay attention to politics, and it's very easy to scare people Like it's so easy to scare people, especially people who are already having a tough time as it is. People who already feel like they're on the edge. If you come in and say, I'm about to change stuff up, even if you say, I'm about to change stuff up to make your life better, it scares people. They're like, I'm already on the edge. I don't want something to happen that pushes me off the edge. So you coming in and saying, like, I'm gonna change stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Like, when really change stuff up, it scares people. Now, if you just came and said, I'm gonna make things better, I am going to make things better. Like that's basically what Donald Trump did. I'm going to make things better. You don't really give them no details. You say your life sucks. I'm gonna make it better. People like that because it's like okay, but if you come in and you say I want to change this, I want to change that, I want to change that, then it's like whoa, 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 whoa. I understand those things. Like you changing those things might hurt me, even though I don't like how those things run right now. But you change them might make things worse. You know what I'm saying? And it's very simple for people. You know, I'll say yeah, he's kind of trying to tie Mike Rogers to Donald Trump. I don't know how well that will work. That's what a lot of people are saying. It's like saying that you should do what the Republican candidates just try to tie them to Donald Trump. But to me, it's like if you're voting for a Senate candidate, you are voting for your team. You know what I mean? In a way, like you're voting for your team. And Donald Trump is the captain of your team. And if you're going to be voting Republican, you already are okay with Donald Trump, I feel like. You might not be like ecstatic about everything he's doing, but you're already kind of like he's the captain of our team. Like you're already kind of okay with that. I doubt anybody's voting for a Senate candidate being like, man, I really don't like Donald Trump, and I don't support what he's doing. Like I wish he was not there, but I'm still a vote Republican. I don't think there's a lot of people doing that. There might be, like I said, there might be some people who are like, it's freaking fly. There might be some people who are like, I'm not really happy with everything Donald Trump's doing, yada yada yada, but you know, blah blah blah. Like there might be some of those people, but I don't think there's a lot of people that's just like, I hate Donald Trump, but I'm gonna vote Republican for a national, you know what I'm saying, like a Senate election. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a lot of people. Maybe even like if you got some of those quote unquote moderate Republicans like Susan Collins, there might be a couple of people voting for her under that like mindset. Like I hate Donald Trump, but I'm still voting for Susan Collins. So that might be better in Maine, but I don't think that works everywhere. You know what I mean? I think what you really want to play on is your strengths, and your strengths are, for me, outside and really any left leaning person, your strength is that you actually care about the people. Like, I actually care about you. I actually want your life to get better. I actually want to do things to help your life get better. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to give you the details. Not all the details. You don't want to go point by point, but I'm going to give you the broad details of what I'm going to do to make your life better, because that's why I feel like the Democratic strength in general, but also the more left-wing Democratic strength, that's their strength. That's what they should be running on, really. Like, I am going to do these things. Like, our system is broken, and it's broken towards the rich. And when I mean rich, I'm not even talking about you have a couple $1,000,000. I'm talking about you have hundreds of $1,000,000, billions of dollars. Our current system is geared towards those people, and I'm going to make our system more geared towards you. And I'm going to be brutal in it, but I'm going to make our system better for you and the people like you. That's what I would do. I wouldn't try to, like, every one of my ads, I don't even know if I would really run, like, maybe here or there I run a negative ad, but like I said, you already know Republican. Everybody knows what a Republican is at this point. You know what I mean? We all know what a Republican is. So my thing would really be, and also this is what I want Democrats to do in general, like the Democrats that are already in the House and in the Senate. Start being more about what you are and less about what about them that you don't like. Start trying to push bills. start going on TV and say, well, we're pushing a $15 minimum wage again, even from the minority. Yes, we're pushing it. Make the Republicans have to constantly stop the good stuff. Make them the party that everybody hates because they're constantly stopping the stuff that people want. Don't just sit there and be like, "Oh, Republicans suck so much, don't they?" Like, show people how much they suck by saying, like, we're trying to do all this good stuff, and look what keeps happening. Every time we try to do good stuff, somebody's in the way. I wonder why. I wonder why they want to stop this. I wonder why they want to stop a minimum wage increase. I wonder why they want to stop Medicare for all, or you know what I'm saying. I wonder why they want to stop all this. Make them do that. It's hard for the Democratic Party to do that as currently constructed because they also are tied to corporate interests. But that's what I would do. Make them stand on business, and the American people are not that stupid. You know what I'm saying? If they constantly see who's fighting for them and who's not, you're gonna get a majority. You know what I'm saying? It might not be a super majority. I think that's very hard or almost impossible to do in the current political climate. But you're gonna get a majority. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what I got left. Okay, wrote down a little notes for this. I guess what I want to end with is the whole what I kind of started with, which is the conversation between leftist DSA type people, which DSA is Democratic Socialists of America. They're socialists, sort of, kinda, but they put the Democratic in front of it to mean like socialist in the way that America is already socialist. You know what I mean? Like America, and which most people know this, but America is a mix of like socialist and capitalist. We're not like purely capitalist. We obviously are not purely socialist, but America kind of has a mixed structure, which most, if not all, countries have a mixed structure. Even like China isn't pure communist; it's like communist and capitalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and America is like that. So when people call themselves democratic socialists, that's basically what they mean. Like, I'm socialist, not in the get rid of all businesses, blah 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 blah. Like some of them might want to do that, but in general, it's more of a, I want to make the socialist part that's already in America, in our system, more pronounced. Basically, change the balance of the socialist part and the capitalist part to where right now the capitalist part is definitely more predominant, especially compared to other countries in the world. I want to make the socialist part more predominant. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I really feel like, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. Like I said, I don't believe in the term moderate. Or I won't say I don't believe in it, but I don't like it because, or centrist, or normal, which is these are like basically synonyms. I don't like those terms because they, like, people see it as normal. If you say I'm moderate, in people's mind, it's like saying I'm normal. If you say I'm centrist, in people's mind, it's like saying I'm normal. And those are not the two. Those are not the same thing. And moderate and centrist are not the same thing, even though the way we use them in political context are interchangeable. They're not the same thing. Like a centrist means like I'm pretty much center of the road. Like on some days you might consider me a Republican. On some days you might consider me a Democrat. But my views are so right there that, you know what I'm saying, I'm center of the road. A moderate just means I'm not for big things. I want to do things, but I'm not for big things. So a moderate might be like, I'm for abortion to this level, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. But a moderate is just like, I like incremental change is a moderate. like incremental things, that would be what a moderate would be, and a centrist would like they describe different things. Is what I'm getting at. I'm going too much into this, but they describe different things. Like a centrist is like beliefs. A moderate is action. Like you could be centrist and moderate, or you can be leftist and moderate, or you can be conservative and moderate. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe in more immigration. Like I think the immigration policy we got now is too limited, but I just want to change it a little bit, make it a little bit more easy to immigrate into the country. Right now, that would make you a leftist because the center position is we probably have too much immigration or it's too easy. That's the center like position in America right now. So if you said I want to make immigration a little easier, just a little easier, that would make you a leftist. But you would be a moderate. You would be a moderate because you just want moderate change. That's what I'm saying. But people use the term centrist and moderate interchangeable. Anyway, anyway, like I went way too far into that. Anyway, I really feel like a lot of centrist, moderate Democrats, they're basically just want things to stay the same. And the reason that they want things to stay the same is because things have been great for them. And things have been not only great for them, but great for their family, great for their friends, great for the people they know, great for the corporations that they align themselves with. Things have been great. They've had power. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of them come in and they're super liberal. They're super like, I want to change the system. And then after a couple of years, they kind of, calm down a little bit. CLC, shots fired. But AOC came in and she was about big swings. And now she's kind of like, I'm going to play the game. And she's having a resurgence now, but like, all leftists are having a resurgence now. Is it her leading the resurgence? I don't think so. I know that's going to upset a lot of people. Like, I don't think so. I don't have anything against AOC besides the fact that I feel like die on your sword, man. Like, if you really feel strongly about what you say, then do it. And if it gets you kicked out, then oh well, die on your sword, bro. Like fight for what you believe in. Don't become part of the system. You know what I'm saying? Don't let yourself live long enough to become the villain. You know what I'm saying? Like keep fighting, and people will see you fight and they will support you. But if you kind of go along the get along, somebody else gonna come and take up what you were. Somebody else is going to come in and be everything that you were supposed to be. And that hasn't happened to AOC yet, but I feel like it's going to come. I really do. Like I said, I don't have anything against AOC, but if AOC runs, which looks like she's going to run for president, out of the people that I know are running right now, I would probably vote for her. So, like, I don't have anything against her necessarily. I just feel like she kind of allowed herself to get comfortable, and she kind of allowed herself to enjoy all the stuff that comes with being a congressman, like going to the Met Gala and stuff. And I know you try to wear that cute little dress, blah, 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 blah. No. Like, no. A true person of the people would be like, no, this represents everything I stand against. Like, no, I'm not going to do it just for the optics. Even if I wanted to do it, I'm not going to do it just because of that. Now, it's not all. I'm not going to be all negative on the center, on the Mars, because I do have a problem with the left, and my problem with like people who call themselves the Max Left, some of the DSA people. My problem is that it's all, I don't want to say it's all rhetoric, but it's a lot of rhetoric. it's a lot of just like saying big things and riling people up, and I feel like there's not a whole lot of thought into like what is it going to actually take to make people's lives better, not just like say it. Like, it's like if I went into your job, let's say you don't like your job, I don't like my job. Let's say I went to your job and I start telling people, I'm gonna get rid of the bosses. I'm gonna make sure y'all get double the pay. I'm gonna make sure y'all can take off whenever y'all want to. I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, like, you don't have to deal with rude customers. I'm just starting giving you a list of stuff, and all that stuff will sound great to you because it would be great. But at the same time, you have to think about, okay, if I do that, will this company survive? If I do that, will I have to lay off people? If I, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like there's a lot of just telling people what they want to hear. Even though I support a lot of that stuff, there's not a whole lot of thought behind it. And then there's also a lot of stuff that some of them are saying that just rubs me the wrong way. Like one of the girls, I think she was one of the women who ran in New York. So I'm sure somebody's gonna get upset because I called her a girl. One of the women who ran in New York, I think that was her. She said that she's against interracial couples or interracial relationships. This is what I heard from listening to people online. If that's incorrect, I apologize, but I've heard it from more than one place, so I'm pretty sure this is the what she said. Stuff like that is just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like saying stuff to rile people up. It's saying stuff to gin up the energies, which is okay to win elections, I guess, but I don't know. I want more meat on the bones. I want there to be more thought about actually how do we work in the country that we have. Like, that being said, I'm way closer to them than I am to the centrist moderates, which I don't even see myself as that radical, but I would be based off of our current political system. Um. So anyway, that was your weekend review, which wasn't really a whole weekend review. It was really just talking about the Michigan primary, but that really was the biggest political story. There were a couple of other stories that I feel like will only really matter once stuff happens from them. Um, like I said, I'm gonna try to do this on a regular basis. I'm gonna try to get a title. I was going to do Monday meditation, but I'm like, it's not really a meditation. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out a title. I might just keep calling it a weekly review. I don't know. But if you enjoyed the video, give me a like, subscribe. I'm gonna try to get back into the motion of making videos, and they're going to be long form. I am going to still do shorts, but so support me on this journey, please. Comment, and you can say anything. Back when I was doing shorts, I had people saying all kinds of stuff in my comments, like mean stuff, and it's like, thanks, brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't take offense to it. I would say if you're gonna comment something that's not, if you're gonna comment something combative, please make it like informative or something. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say like, I had one person say you're as stupid as you look or something like that. And like it's like, okay, cool, bro, but what does that have to do? Like, can you say what I said that was stupid so then we can discuss that? But don't just say, oh, you're stupid and you look stupid. Okay. But anyway, till next time, I'll see you later, MCTE crew.